Well, hello and welcome everyone to this session where we're talking about Sage CRM and the Sage Intacct product working together. And to help me do this, I'm joined by one of our specialist partners in the North American market. It's Zainab, who's joining us from BAS. Hi, Zainab.
Hi, hi, David. How are you?
Good. Thank you for coming along. So we've got about 13 minutes or so to have a chat. And I thought we'd start by you explaining very briefly who BAS are so people know you. And then we'll move to discussion about your customers using Intaact and CRM. So who are BAS?
BAS Business Solution is a North American, like we're located as a head office in Toronto, Canada, but we do have multiple locations across Canada and North America. Simply, we are a solution provider. We focus in the Sage products of Sage 300, Sage Intacct, and Sage CRM heavily with a lot of developments.
Okay, and we've worked together quite a lot over the years, so we have some history, don't we? Talk to me about your journey into CRM and Intaact, and maybe do that through the lens of a customer of yours, which I know you and I have spoken to together, the Responsible Gambling Commission. Tell me more about who they are, first of all.
Responsible Gambling is a non-for-profit organization in Canada, but they are extending, providing their services in different product lines for across like North America and even Europe now, providing support for people who have addicted to gambling and supporting them with different programs. And they came to us as looking for Sage products, especially for Sage CRM, because with the person that we were dealing and the project champion from Responsible Gambling, he had experience with Salesforce, but tried to get a Sage CRM to see and compare the two products. And he was in love with Sage CRM because he realized it is an easier application that can be accepted by the employees at Responsible Gambling.
Okay, so that's a nice story. Makes my heart warm. We love Sage CRM. So tell me about what did you do for them? Because as you said, most people, when they take up Intaact, often look to Salesforce. What did you make CRM do with Intaact, and technically and commercially? What were they looking for, and what did you do for them?
So we came up with the idea of integrating Sage CRM to Sage Intacct. The reason why, when we started to implement this Salesforce integration to Intaact, we realized there are people like you and me who are really in love with Sage CRM. They want, sorry, they want to keep their Sage CRM, but they want to move to Sage Intacct. And that is where we developed the integration internally. And because we have the experience with the Sage 300 integration to CRM and Sage Intacct with Salesforce, so we came up with features that we took the good and the best from the two integrations, and we built an integration that will work. We think that will work for companies. And that is where we presented this integration to Responsible Gambling, which again, importing the contact customers, contact from accounts from Salesforce, from Sage Intacct, at the same time promoting prospects to Intaact, and then reading the invoices that we have, the order entry process, quotation process. We built that feature within Sage CRM.
And before I sort of delve into more of the technical nature of what you've done, we'll show some pictures of the integration as we speak as well. What were the big drivers for Responsible Gambling to talk to you, apart from they love Sage CRM? Why didn't they want Salesforce?
Why it was, I think, answered from the beginning when they came to us. They said is number one is it has too much features, is very advanced, or it has a lot of like functionalities that we will not need. And plus the cost it was a huge difference. It was a big gap between the cost of Salesforce and the cost for Sage CRM. The second factor, they really value Sage and they wanted to stay in the Sage family.
Right.
And that one was the driver for them. When they looked to Sage, they were planning already to go with Sage Intacct, but then when they looked to Sage CRM, they said, why should I go to another application and pay for that one? Although like we do have the Sage CRM and they loved it, they decided to stay with it.
So I know one of the technical considerations is Intaact is hosted by, well, in the cloud, and Sage CRM can be hosted in the cloud, but is often on-premise. What did you decide to do technically for the company?
So when explaining to the customer, we offered them to have a private cloud,
Right.
which for them, it is a cloud. That private cloud is hosted by BaaS. So it was a very good solution for them at the end. Both of them are cloud application and is working very well. And the most important thing, like it is managed by one company, so they don't need to have to involve another vendor over there. So the solution worked for them very well.
Excellent. Good to hear. And more technically, going even further into technical discussion, both products have very rich APIs, web service type layer connections.
Correct.
Is that what you use to build the integration?
Correct. We use the API to have the whole integration and the sync between the two products, so it works seamlessly for them.
When you and I spoke to their prime mover, Les, a little while ago, of which there's a podcast which people can listen to on Sage Thought Leadership, he was a big mover in terms of structural change, transformation of businesses and things like that. He was very much behind the integration story, wasn't he?
Correct.
Can you speak a bit more about, why that drive? What was that about for the company?
Sure. When Les joined the company at Responsible Gambling, he realized they have a big lacking on having a CRM system.
Right.
He realized there is a big lack on getting an answer about a customer or a contract that they have. He wasn't able, or no one was able to rely on the information that they were getting from multiple Excel sheets or multiple systems or even the finance system that they have.
Right.
So providing them with a system that from tracking all the leads, converting that onto prospects and from the prospect to opportunities, and from the opportunities, like converting them to a real contract, and then having these contracts integrated with Sage Intacct, it gives them a full kind of a system that they don't need, eliminated all the manual work they used to do, and having all the systems giving them even information with the invoicing, which they never dream about it. They didn't know even the CRM is capable of doing that. And that is the value that they got from the system right away.
So people tend to think of those systems as quite large, but I know that they came from a world of no CRM, as you just described there. So the vision that Les has, the transformation vision for the company, was to really make CRM the center of their working day, the working life. Is that a fair summary?
Correct, because the best benefit that they got from the system when they came to us to implement CRM, it was for one product line.
Right.
But as soon as we put the system in place, because they have more than, like they have 4 to 5 product lines, so now they are able like to provide all these options to their customers for the same customer with different product lines, rather than having different departments, different groups working in kind of in silos with each other. But now it is all centralized in that one system.
Right.
It added a huge benefit for them to get the reporting, to get the dashboard that they want, and it is really kind of putting everyone together.
And I know you're thinking and are taking your offer to other industries, including care homes. Is that correct? Can you tell us a bit more about the sort of the integration between CRM and back office for care homes?
Yeah. So, and that is the whole thing with the care homes and what we are doing with the um, senior living relationship management. It is another industry that we are looking for by providing all the resident and tenant information. And that is the same way we are going to integrate it to Sage Intacct and having the seamless, all these invoices, rent increase, all the services all generated from CRM that is synchronized to Sage Intacct and having all the visibility to the front end user rather than having separate two systems.
Okay. So the same idea, there's this center of the universe, and I imagine something like care homes, you're dealing with a very important thing, which is a person, right? And all their needs, their residents, their treatments, all those sorts of things. And largely, I think that information should live in the front office. Yes, it's not a transactional thing. It's about the person.
Exactly.
And
And
the service.
although they do have the care care service providers like company organizations, although they do have kind of industry-based application,
Yes.
that is used more for kind of medical and like services provided regarding of what they need to take from the medicine and so on.
Okay.
But what they were lacking is more to get information about the actual resident tenant, the waiting list,
Right.
and tracking that from the waiting list until they become a tenant, and then like
Okay.
gathering all the details about the like all these like support people, the family information in CRM. In addition to that, knowing all their wishes, the recreational activities, having all their managing their weight, their health within CRM. I think that one added like a good value for a front end application.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So in our final minute or so, if people are interested in talking to you, they can go to BASS, look them up. It's BAAS. But are you also available and happy to share your learnings, chargeable or otherwise, about CRM and Intaact to other partners who might be listening to this?
Definitely. We built this tool as a subscription tool that we're providing to, again, our customers. At the same time, for any partner who's looking for that integration, that definitely we can implement that one for their customer. And any update, any support, we can definitely support our partners.
That's great news. All right. Well, I'll be sure to put a little floating set of text across the bottom so people can find you, look you up on the web. But for now, Zainab, thank you for your overview of CRM and Intaact for the different industries, in that case, gambling and living or healthcare, and I'm sure many more to come. Thank you very much for attending.
Thank you very much, David, for this opportunity. Thanks.
Bye for now.